Right, so I just started to put these oil seals in. These metal seals do seem to be a little bit deeper than the standard ones. This one had this rubber one in before. However, I've got these metal ones, these hepalite ones here, and it is fractionally deeper than that, so it does sit a little bit proud of the surface, which obviously you have a gasket go on there, and that gasket is not thick enough to take up the gap in this plate, between that plate and that. You can see if I put that on there, get that in there, that will slide. No, I'm not pressing down on this, but I have pressed down and it does. So I have got some gasket material, gasket paper, so I've cut an extra one. This is slightly thicker, but it's still not thicker enough, so I'm probably going to have to put those two gaskets on there when I put this together. Yeah, let's pick these one a little bit thicker to start with. Sorry, that's my made up one. Yeah, or I didn't have some thicker gasket material. Could have got away with one, but I think I'm going to have to put two on there. That's not a problem. Yeah, so just got to do the other oil seals in here, then can start reassembling, once this is on, reassembling the gearbox. Alright, so that has now been reamed, and it's got a nice fit on there. What to do, this one-handed. And yeah, that turns very smoothly on there now, and no play. So that's that ready to go. Yeah, so next thing will be gearbox rebuild. Yeah, I've got a few new parts here, tab washers, thrust washers for the clutch, some new screws for that, clutch seal, selector spring, circlip, which I can't remember what that's for. Yeah, at any rate, a few new parts there to go on, plus the gaskets I got. Yeah, so ready to go. Alright, so now all the seals are in. Before I go any further, I'm just going to press this into this bearing. So what I've got is a piece of aluminium that will fit down the middle. So I'll get that in there, get it in the press, that underneath, so that will support the inner part of the bearing. To press that in, that'll be something like that. Press that in. Probably could have pressed that on that first. Sorry, getting shot. Probably could have pressed the bearing on there first and then pressed the bearing, or that assembly, in to the case. But this way will work equally as well. So yeah, I'll get that on the press and do that now. Right, that's now in there. Next thing I'll do is just fit this fit the seal assembly here yeah, just get on and do that. So I've got a little bit of weld seal on there, a little bit on the gasket. Put that in position. The gasket is not particularly accurate, the looks of it. Right, another little bit of the old magic. Brush need clean, that's got a bit hard, a bit acetone actually. We'll just take all that off. Oops, gonna be crazy. Let's try and get some of that off there. A bit too much. Anything that does ooze out, it can always clean off later. Like that there, that will come off with a bit of acetone. Right, so I'll just let that tack. I've also got the other side of that. That needs spreading out a bit more. On there. So just give that a couple of minutes. And then I'll do the same with these parts. And obviously I've got my two, I've got a double gasket there to do. And then that can all go on. So I'll probably bring you back when that's all done. That's that all on. I'll just give that a wipe over, get rid of any of this excess weld seal. There's a little spacer which goes in there. I'll just give that a bit of a polish though. That's got a little bit of corrosion on it. So I'll just polish that up a bit so we can get rid of some of that. And then that can, well, I don't know if I'll put it in there now or leave it until I put the sprocket on. But yeah, that'll be ready then. Then we can start assembling the gearbox. Okay, got the parts laid out, ready to assemble. So that one just goes on there. That one on there. This one on the end, that way round. You can see the wear marks there. So they're basically ready to go in. So I've also got the gear selector, shaft, got the plunger, ball, spring, the mechanism here, shifter mechanism, tab washers and bolts. These you cannot get anymore. Couldn't find in any new old stock ones, so I'm going to have to reuse them. I think I might just take a hammer to get it on the vise, just see if I can flatten that off a little bit and try and reuse this unused side on those, I think. Yeah, so basically ready to go. Right, let's just get a little build on there. Drop that in there. one goes in this way. We have to do a little bit of jiggery pokery. Get everything lined up. There we go. Right, there we are. That's that part in. So now I need to get the detent in here, so I think I will tip this up if I can. Just see if I get it to rest like that. A spring. And the ball, let's get a little bit of grease. Hold it in, hopefully. Bit too much grease, never mind. Right, hopefully that will stay there. Select the shaft now, or let's have a look in the book. Now this bit next, that way we won't lose that ball. Right, so this is where everything goes ping. That in there, that on the ball. I think if we put that in a different position, that might help actually. Better. I'm going to let that go into orbit. That should hold that. No, not quite in line. Don't want to start. A bit more pressure. There we go. Probably can't see nothing, my big fat fingers in the way. Right. That is in. Give them a tighten up. That won't. Right, that will do that. Knock them tabs over. Right, a little bit of an interlude there. Yeah, I've just knocked these tabs over. I then went to just run through the gears, make sure that it was all selecting, and it wasn't. And the reason was this. It's quite tight fitting that bearing, so I just had to get that on the press and get that shaft right down to where it should be. So we're all good there now. So what I'm going to do is get the selector shaft in. Let's give that a little bit of a oil up. There. And I'll run out of space at the bottom. Could do with another block, I think. Level. Not very level, but just about there. Right. There we go. Right. So that's all in. Obviously the only gear I couldn't check was the final top gear, because that's in the other case. Everything else is selected okay, no reason why that shouldn't. I might just give everything in here just a little bit of an oil. Then clean around the cases, both sides, get some weld seal on both sides, get the crank in, and well, and put the two halves together. Right, got some weld seal on there. I know I said I was going to use and on that surface, I know I said I was going to use red hematite, but I'm actually out of it. Didn't realise. And you cannot get it anymore. Not the proper stuff anyway. Do some modern equivalent, which I've not used, so don't really know what it's like. So I'm going to go with the weld seal. The only thing is, it doesn't have quite the same consistency. It does rely on really good surfaces, and there are a lot of dings. That one there especially, in these faces, so hopefully that'll be okay. So I'm just going to get the crank in this side, wait for this to flash off, and then and be ready to put the halves together. Hopefully all will go okay. Right, I've just been buggering about, so I remembered I got a new spring. Just been buggering about trying to fit that. Bloody pattern parts are completely wrong, aren't they? Every single one. That coil is far too wide. That should be tighter. And the angles here, they're not right. So I've just put the old one back on. Yeah, right. What was I doing? Oh yeah, put the two halves back together. Right. Don't forget your shims on this side, the other one is on the other side. Just put my hands up, covered in oil now. The paper's gone. Oh, there it is. Right, thing is on. This is all free. That's free. Yeah, the spring was just biased in that direction, so it wasn't returning properly. It was too much pressure pushing that way. So it should be like that. Right, top half. Do a little bit of jiggery to get this to. There we go. Right, screws. Yeah, I won't bother filming that. I'll just put all the screws in, get that clamped together, make sure the everything rotates, and we can move on to the next bit then. Right, so I've had a quick run through the gears. They're all selecting fine. Got this free. Well, it would be if we can have this on the top. Nice free rotation of the crank. So that's all good. Still got our end float there. Put that back on there. So next will be primary.